Hey everyone, welcome back to another session of our CISSP study group. I'm B-Dubs and I'm pumped to explore today's topics with you. Whether you're working hard to pass the CISSP exam or you're just passionate about cybersecurity, you're in exactly the right place. Your dedication truly means a lot and it's fantastic to see you all here. I'm so excited to be sharing this journey with you. In our last session, we continued with Domain 7, specifically with Objectives 7.3 and 7.4. If you couldn't make it, don't worry. There's a playlist ready for you to catch up. I'll share the link in chat now so you can watch it later at your own pace. Today, we're diving deeper into one of the most practical and engaging parts of the CISSP exam, Domain 7, Security Operations. We'll focus on Objectives 7.5, Apply Resource Protection, and 7.6, Conduct Incident Management, which teaches how to protect our resources and handle incidents effectively. Think of this as learning to be your organization's data guardian, protecting valuable assets and responding quickly when security events occur. This topic is important because data is the modern organization's most valuable asset. A single breach or data loss can trigger severe consequences, legal complications, damaged customer relationships, and potential reputational damage. So mastering these skills isn't just about passing the exam. It's about preparing for real-world challenges in security operations. So get comfortable and let's get going. Now I want you to think about your most valuable personal data, maybe your banking details or sentimental photos. Now imagine protecting 1,000 times that amount. That's what organizations do every day. In security operations, we focus on protecting our resources, the data and the media that it's stored on. Data truly is the foundation of any organization, from customer information and financial records to proprietary secrets. When protecting this data, we focus back on that CIA triad: confidentiality, keeping it away from unauthorized eyes; integrity, making sure it stays accurate and trustworthy; and availability, making sure it's there when it's needed. If you lose any of these, you're in serious trouble. Our mission is to protect data throughout its entire lifecycle, from creation to storage and transmission, until it's safely destroyed. This requires different strategies depending on the data's form and location. Let's look at the different types of media storage you might encounter in your security career. We'll look at 4 main categories and why each of these matters. First, there's physical media. While it may seem old school, it still remains important in organizations. Think about legal contracts requiring original signatures or important documents needing physical backups. Even in our digital age, paper documents still play an important role in business operations. Next is magnetic media, your hard drives and backup tapes. These are the workhorses of large-scale data storage. While some organizations still maintain legacy systems with floppy disks, I really wouldn't recommend starting any new projects with those. For electronic media, we're looking at modern storage solutions like solid-state drives, or SSDs, and flash drives. SSDs provide blazing fast performance that's ideal for critical systems. Now, while USB drives are convenient for data transfer, you should really avoid them for long-term storage due to the potential degradation and security risks. Finally, we have optical media, your CDs and DVDs. Though they may seem dated, they're still excellent for distributing read-only content that needs wide accessibility. They're cost-effective and difficult to tamper with. Each storage type has specific environmental requirements. Temperature, humidity, and magnetic fields all affect how long your media lasts. This is where MTBF, or the mean time between failure, becomes very important for risk management and business planning. It provides an estimated media lifespan, helping you make informed storage decisions. For critical business records, you should choose media with high MTBF ratings, like enterprise-grade drives or archival tapes, not that random USB stick collecting dust in your drawer. Here's something really important you need to understand. Nothing lasts forever, except for that one post that you made on social media when you were mad and 16 years old. It will forever haunt you. But these digital storage options, they have a lifespan. For your long-term storage needs like legal records or important archives, you need a solid preservation strategy with 3 key components. First, you need to regularly migrate your data to new media. Just as you wouldn't trust your important photos to a 20-year-old hard drive, you need to keep moving your critical data to fresh storage. Second, keep an eye on those file formats. Remember those floppy disks or WordPerfect files? You need to stay ahead of obsolete formats by converting files to current supported formats. And finally, you must keep your encrypted standards up to date. What was secure 5 years ago might not cut it today. Always use current industry standard encryption. Now, when you're selecting your storage media, you must also consider these important factors. You have to first think about the confidentiality. Ask yourself, does this media support modern encryption standards? This is important for sensitive data protection. Next, we think about access speed. How quickly do you need to retrieve this data? If it's something you need frequently and urgently, like patient records in a hospital, you'll want fast access media. If it's archival data, slower access might be acceptable. Another important factor is portability. Do you need to move this data between different locations? Maybe between office branches or to client sites. This might influence whether you choose something like portable SSDs over traditional tape backups. Durability is also important. Can the media withstand your operational environment? Think about factors like potential physical damage, frequency of access, and the expected lifespan. Finally, consider your environmental controls. Can your facility maintain the proper temperature and humidity levels needed for that long-term storage? Different types of media have different environmental requirements, and you need to be sure you can meet those requirements. Let's break down media protection into 3 key control categories that all work together to keep your data safe. First up are administrative controls. These are your foundation. These are the policies and procedures that set clear rules like who can access what, how to handle sensitive data, and what happens if someone breaks protocol. Think of it as your security rulebook. Physical controls are the actual tangible protections that we put in place. Now, depending on how sensitive your data is, you'll want different levels of security. For public data, basic office storage might be good enough. Think regular filing cabinets or standard storage rooms. For our confidential data, we step up our game with locked cabinets and rooms with access controls, like key cards or pin pads. For our restricted data, our most sensitive stuff, we implement serious security. Think high security vaults with biometric access, like fingerprint scanners or retina scans. The key here is matching the level of physical protection to the sensitivity of the data. For transport, we use tamper-evident bags, trusted couriers, or bonded shipping services based on that sensitivity level. Finally, technical controls add that important digital layer. This includes encryption, access control systems, and proper media sanitization. Now, I want to dive into sanitization a bit more because it's particularly important here. There's 3 main levels that you really need to know about. Clearing is basic file deletion. Like moving something to the recycle bin and then emptying it. This works for low-risk data, like public documents or our marketing materials. Purging involves a secure wipe using specialized software that overwrites data multiple times to prevent any potential recovery. This is what you'd use for confidential information like internal documents or customer data. Destruction means physically destroying the media. This could be shredding hard drives, melting tapes, or pulverizing solid-state drives. This is for your most sensitive data that absolutely cannot fall into the wrong hands, like military secrets or critical financial records. Think about this example. When handling company financial records on a USB drive, you would need all 3 types of controls. Administrative, the documented handling procedures. Physical, the secure storage. And technical, the encryption. For public data like marketing materials, basic controls would be enough. But for sensitive data like customer credit cards, you'll want the full Fort Knox treatment, such as implementing the strongest controls from each category. Now let's shift to protecting the data itself in its 2 states, at rest and in transit. Data at rest sits on servers, databases, or our phones, while data in transit moves through email or file transfers. Each state faces unique threats that require specific protections. For data at rest, think of it like protecting your valuables in a vault. Just like thieves target safes, attackers go after this stored data. That's where encryption becomes important. AES, or the Advanced Encryption Standard, acts as your digital vault. AES 256 is currently the industry's gold standard here. Tools like BitLocker for Windows, FileVault for Mac, or Veracrypt, which is cross-platform, encrypt your entire drive. For databases, Transparent Data Encryption, or TDE, keeps those records locked down. Data in transit needs different protection. Imagine this as moving those valuables to a new vault all the way across town. Now you're dealing with eavesdroppers and interceptors rather than just break-ins. This is where the secure transport protocols really shine. TLS for web traffic, SFTP for file transfers, and then IPsec and VPNs all create protected tunnels for your data to travel through. Here's a simple way to think about it. Unencrypted data at rest is like cash in an unlocked drawer, while unencrypted data in transit is like sending cash in a clear envelope through the mail. When properly encrypted, data at rest becomes a vault with a combination lock, and data in transit becomes an armored car with a secure route. Remember, both states of data need solid key management. After all, even the strongest lock fails if you leave the key right there under the doormat. There's one more important piece here before we move on: asset management. This involves tracking all your organization's hardware and software, from your servers and laptops to licenses. Here's the key components of asset management. First, you need a robust inventory system. Combine automated discovery tools for network scanning with physical asset tagging and tracking. Regular reconciliation between the physical and digital inventories really helps to prevent any assets from slipping through the cracks. Remember that you can't protect what you don't know you have. Ownership and accountability are vital. Each asset needs two roles assigned to it, both an owner who makes the business decisions and a custodian who handles the day-to-day management of that asset. Document these responsibilities clearly so you avoid any gray areas. For secure configuration, begin with security baselines and hardening guidelines. Use a configuration management database, or CMDB, to track settings and changes. Apply the principle of least functionality and disable any unnecessary services. Think strong passwords, minimal access rights, and only the essential services running. Maintenance of your assets never stops. You must patch software and firmware to fix any security gaps. Manage licenses to stay compliant and avoid malware risks. It's like your car maintenance. You want to drive with bald tires or skip your oil changes. Your assets need these regular tune-ups to stay secure. Take that old printer in accounting, for example. It must be inventoried, patched, or configured securely, or it can become your network's next weak spot. Now let's switch gears to exam objective 7.6. Conduct incident management. Imagine this. You've built a fortress to protect your digital assets. But what happens when something slips through those defenses? This is where incident management comes in. Think of it as your digital fire drill, your emergency response plan for when your defenses are tested. Even with the best security, incidents are going to happen. From sophisticated malware and determined hackers, to insider mistakes and simple human error. Your mission is clear. Detect problems quickly, respond effectively, and most importantly, learn from each incident to strengthen your defenses for next time. Now, before we move on, let's first clarify the difference between events and incidents. An event is any observable occurrence in a system. This includes logins, file accesses, system updates, and just about anything else that involves a mouse click or a keyboard input. These happen constantly as part of your normal operations. An incident, however, is any event that negatively impacts or threatens your security, such as when a hacker uses stolen credentials or malware is detected. Events are what happened, while incidents are what went wrong. Remember that while not every event becomes an incident, every incident starts as an event. This distinction is important because it helps security teams quickly determine which events need immediate response versus just routine monitoring. Let's break this down using the NIST Incident Response Framework. First comes preparation. You need a solid plan, trained team, and tested procedures before an incident ever occurs. Next is detection and analysis. Whether it's your IDS flagging suspicious activity or an employee reporting something unusual, This phase focuses on identifying anything suspicious and then understanding the threat. Then comes containment, eradication, and recovery. This is where the action happens. Containment stops the spread, like quarantining any affected systems. Eradication removes the threat, such as cleaning up that malware. And then recovery restores the system back to normal operations, potentially using those clean backups you have set aside. Throughout this process, you must maintain clear communication through one designated person who handles all stakeholder updates. Finally, post-incident activity is very important. You must document everything, analyze what happened, and then use what you learned to strengthen your defenses. Let's think about some examples. For a ransomware attack, IDS detects the encryption activity. You isolate the affected systems, restore from clean backups, patch any vulnerabilities, and then implement MFA. For a data breach, your DLP alerts on unusual data transfers. You block the compromised account, investigate the data exposure, notify any affected parties, and then strengthen your access controls. For an insider threat, security monitoring alerts on the unauthorized access. You revoke privileges, conduct forensics, update your access policies, and then enhance your security monitoring for the next time. Remember, thorough documentation and clear team roles really make the difference between chaos and controlled response. Now, a robust set of security tools all working together is essential for effective incident management. Let's break down the key components here. IPS and IDS are your watchers. IDS monitors and alerts you to suspicious activity, while IPS takes it just a step further by actively blocking any threats. DLP operates at both the network and endpoint levels to prevent any sensitive data from leaving your organization, whether it was accidental or malicious. Anti-malware defends against viruses, ransomware, and other malicious code. SIM brings everything together by collecting and correlating those logs from all of these tools to identify patterns and potential threats. The key here is proper tuning and integration of your SIM. Too many alerts lead to alert fatigue, while too few mean you're likely missing the real threats. Think of it like your home security system. You want to catch the burglar without triggering false alarms for every cat that walks across the hood of your car in the driveway. Remember that while these tools are important, your people are equally, if not more important. Many times, an employee's intuition about something not quite right really can be your earliest warning sign. Now, there's 4 main types of incidents that you might encounter. First are the external attacks. This is what most people think of as security incidents. These include ransomware encrypting your systems, DDoS attacks overwhelming your servers, and sophisticated phishing campaigns targeting your employees. Next up are your internal threats, which can be trickier because they originate from within the organization. These range from accidental, like an employee sending sensitive data to the wrong person with a simple typo, to intentional, where someone deliberately steals or misuses company data. Then we have technical failures, which are not always malicious, but can be just as disruptive as a malicious attack. These include system outages halting business operations, data corruption compromising critical information, and network issues preventing normal business operations. Finally, we have physical incidents. Mother Nature doesn't care about your security policies. Disasters can strike literally at any time. This category includes floods, fires, power failures, and facility damage from disasters like tornadoes and hurricanes. These physical infrastructure threats can be just as devastating as any cyber attack, and many times can be far worse if you're not prepared with a plan. While each type of incident requires its own response approach, they all follow our core incident response playbook: detect, respond, fix, and learn. Alright, let's wrap up today's session with a quick review. We covered 2 major topics today: Objective 7.5 with resource protection, and Objective 7.6 with incident management. For resource protection, we explored several critical areas. We started with the media lifecycle, protecting our assets throughout their entire lifespan. Then we covered the 3 essential layers of controls: administrative, physical, and technical, all working together for comprehensive security. We then explored data protection, which involves looking at how to secure data both at rest and in transit. Finally, we covered asset management and tracking, because you can't protect what you don't know you have. For incident management, we focused on 3 key areas. First, we clarified the important difference between events and incidents. Remember, not every event is an incident, but every incident starts as an event. Then we walked through the NIST incident response framework: prepare, detect, contain, eradicate, recover, and learn. This framework gives us a structured approach to handling security incidents. Finally, we covered essential security tools and the importance of clear documentation throughout the incident management process. Take a moment to think about your current setup. How's your resource protection strategy? Is your incident response plan ready to go? Do you know what to do in case of an incident? If not, these are your next action items. Now that wraps up exam objectives 7.5 and 7.6. You're crushing the CISSP journey. Keep pushing forward. Remember, all these recordings stay on YouTube with chapters for easy review of specific topics. These concepts connect directly to real-world scenarios, so stay curious and keep practicing. Now, who's ready for the after party? I'm heading to the Study GRC Discord's CISSP voice channel right now. It's perfect for asking questions and connecting with the community. If you're not in the Discord yet, you can visit cissp.britwhite.io for the Discord link. And don't forget to grab that CISSP role when you join, so you can access our study channels. Our next session is Tuesday, May 27th at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time, where we'll keep pushing forward with Domain 7, Security Operations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Discord.